Is your ego holding you back? Is your ego stopping you from making the necessary changes to your life to get the outcomes you want? Your ego is that part of you that likes the things you already know, that likes the patterns you already have, that keeps you doing the same thing over and over again because you've already invested time into it, so it must be good. But sometimes you have to just let go of that. You have to look at something and say, this isn't what I want, whether it's the outcome or the action or both, but it's your ego that's keeping you tied to that. It's your ego that keeps things around that have no value. Right? If you've got junk, old clothes even. Old clothes are a good one. Stuff you don't even wear anymore, you haven't worn in years. That's just piled up in the back of your closet, in a drawer somewhere, that it's just taking up space. It's not really in the way, but it's still there. It might not even really be in the way, but it's still in your house. It's still taking up space. In some cases, maybe you have a storage unit with a bunch of stuff in it that you don't use, you don't go into, you don't look for, but you still keep it because you're invested in it, and that's your ego holding you to it. And maybe it's not much, or maybe it's something a place you keep going to, going out to the bar every week, or eating out every Friday night, or spending money on some hobby that you don't even really enjoy anymore. If you can let go of your ego in those cases and make the changes, right? You could wind up with some more money, you could wind up with more time, more space, more peace of mind. But it extends just beyond things, right? It's patterns, it's habits, it's your behavior, it's your actions. Are you sticking in this job because it's familiar, because you have to? Or do you have to because you haven't made the changes in your life to let you leave that place? Are you acting in a certain way because it's how you've always done it, with no real conscious thought for it as to why you're doing those things? Your ego investment in your current self can stop you from seeing better opportunities, can stop you from seeing or reaching a better place in your own life, closer to where you want to be, with more free time, better connection with your family and friends, more money even. If you let your ego get in your way, it will stop you from being successful. It will hold you back. It will prevent you from being able to get the success you know you're capable of. Sometimes it's staying in a hobby that you don't enjoy anymore, but you continue to do things in it just because you've always done them. It's a way to kill time. Or, video games can be like that, where you play a bunch of them, but maybe the enjoyment in that game is gone. Maybe you'd be better off doing something different with your time, right? It can be reading the same old books over and over again because they're comfortable and they're familiar and you like them, but you're not learning anything new from them. You're not getting anything new from them. You're just rereading them because they're there. You have to let go of that. You have to let go of the ego investment in what you do and look at the outcomes you're getting from them and decide if those outcomes are what you want, right? If you want to be able to travel the world, well, you may not be able to do so today. You may not be able to do so tomorrow or next week or even next year. But what about 2 years? What if you made changes today that let you build up a lot more wealth so you could generate passive income through investments of whatever, or build a new business that let you travel more, have more free time, or something that can be done anywhere as opposed to in person or in a particular location? But there's the risk of failure in those. But even more so than the risk of failure, there's also the ego investment in what you're currently doing, because you've done it for a while, most likely. And so it's hard to change that, especially if you've built your personality especially if you've built your sense of self around those things, right? Whether it's the job, the lifestyle, the place you live, any of those, right? If you've built ego investment into those, and you most likely have, we're all human. It's part of human nature to do that. But that can hold you back. It can stop you from finding those new opportunities, from taking the risk that might get you somewhere better in life. And in some ways, I think more than the fear of failure, what holds people back the most is also the fear of success, right? If you are successful, why weren't you doing it sooner? Why didn't you come up with it sooner? With failure, you have an idea of how to act in regard to that failure. But what if you're successful? I don't really think it, having said that, I don't think it's really the fear of success that holds people back. Not consciously. I think it's more the change, right? The change in lifestyle, the change in habits, the fact that making those changes will be hard work. Maybe not in terms of backbreaking labor, but hard work in terms of you have to change your habits, and that can be pretty difficult, especially the bad habit. It's never the good habits that are hard to break, right? If you brush your teeth every day, it is very easy to skip a day, right? If you read 10 pages of some book to improve your life, it's very easy to skip that. If you try to create something and you work on it every day, and you've done that for a year, you'll find it's honestly easy to skip that. Working out every day, whether it's, lifting weights or going for walks and stuff, it's very easy to go, not today. It's the bad habits that are hard to break. I could eat fast food. I could eat a whole bag of chips. I could go drink with my friends again tonight, even though you just went the day before. It's very easy to do this. I could spend money on this thing I don't really need. It's very easy to do those things. It's way easier to break good habits than it is to break bad habits. And the fact that you can break good habits so easily also tells us that we can break those bad habits just as easily. We just have to want something else more than we want that habit. We have to let go of the ego that's invested in that bad habit in whatever way it is to build a new one. So I've been thinking about that for the past week. If you've got thoughts on this yourself, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to read them. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys next week with another video.